Are you wondering if your insurance company will cover you for Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, or the new ZepBound? Join me, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm Dr. Olusegun from Angelic Wellness. Can you get your insurance company to pay for these medications? The answer is, for some patients, absolutely yes. Some of you meet the criteria that the insurance company has put into their policies of who can get these weight loss medications to help them with their diabetes or excess body weight. I know a lot of patients that have been contacting us might not meet the diabetes criteria, but a lot of these insurance companies have things that we can present as the clinicians to let you know whether you are approved or not. So I'm going to go over those things today and how best to get you qualified before we even apply, okay? So what are these drugs, right? We call them GLP-1 agonists, and these are drugs like Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, as well as ZepBound. These medications work by telling your body that you are full and that you've eaten, and for several hours you're not hungry. They also help your body with insulin sensitivity to make you process your sugars better, so that for the diabetic patient, this is a wonderful thing because now their blood sugars are much better controlled. You've heard about these medicines. Everyone in Hollywood seems to be talking about it or using it because no one can deny right now the data is proven. These drugs work. But a lot of patients that are getting approved are diabetic patients. Even though the FDA has now approved Wegovy and ZepBound as potential weight loss medication for patients that have obesity, okay? That means that your body mass index is over 30 by definition. You can pull up Google and type in BMI calculator, put your weight and your height, and find out if your BMI is over 30, okay? If your BMI is over 30, you meet the criteria. But does that mean your insurance automatically covers it? Well, not quite. A lot of patients have been blowing up their office phones because they've heard about this medication from a girlfriend that's now lost 40 pounds in the last 4 months, or they've heard from some coworker that they're seeing shrink right before their eyes, or their sibling that's really doing well with it for their diabetes and they're losing weight. So patients are like, can I use this, doc? I just saw it on TV. They said it's approved for weight loss as well. I have such and such insurance plan. And I'm like, yes, first we have to weigh your risk and benefit, right? Because with everything, every medication, there is a risk and there's some benefits, right? For a lot of patients that are morbidly obese or overweight or just obese, these medications can really help you in managing a lot of the conditions that come with obesity. You know, things like high blood pressure, cholesterol, we find patients with fatty liver, and so on, right? Even though these medicines work and they do help patients reduce these, comorbid conditions, some insurance plans are still denying patients when we submit for them to get these drugs. And the main reason is that a lot of times they have policies that they have put in place because these medicines are very expensive. For example, they range from $1,000 to $1,600 a month, right? And the insurance companies feel that they'll rather use this on patients that will truly benefit and not patients that just wants to fit in a bikini, right? So for that reason, they have laid out their policies and said, these are the patients that qualify. If they meet these criteria, then we can approve them. So I'm going to tell you the secret. This is how I help patients get approved, okay? You have to be willing to do some work, all right? The first thing, you have to call your insurance plan. Yes, get on the phone, the number on the back of your card, call that line. and ask them if they cover weight loss medications as part of your benefit plan, right? If they tell you yes, then have them tell you which of these medications, Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, ZepBound, is in their formulary, okay? Not all insurance plans carry all of them, so you have to find out which one your insurance plan covers, okay? So once you know that, write that down, okay? That's the first step. The second step is you are going to then document. You have to document what you have tried in the past to help you lose weight that did not work, okay? Let me repeat that. What you tried in the past that did not work. So you will list medications that you have tried, over-the-counter supplements that you have tried, programs that you have tried. You might have joined Weight Watchers in the past, you might have bought Nutrisystem in the past. Document that you started this plan or this drug, you didn't lose weight, or you lost weight and quickly regained, or you had problems with side effect from that method, right? So you document that. Then you want to gather your blood work, okay? This is the third thing you have to do. Gather your blood work. What blood work abnormalities have the doctors told you have? Do you have high cholesterol showing? Do they tell you that you have abnormal liver function tests, which is usually a sign of fatty liver? Did they tell you that you have high blood pressure and you're already on medication for that? Some patients have what we call polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS. Those type of conditions will be comorbid conditions that we know is weight related and might help us build a case for why your insurance should cover your medication. Okay, so now you've gathered all those things, right? Now you know your insurance plan covers this. You know which drugs they have on their formulary. You've documented what lifestyle changes you've made in the past, what type of exercise program, what type of medication supplement that you've tried, and you have your blood work handy, right? Then you call your doctor, your nurse practitioner, your physician assistant, whoever it is that is taking care of you on the primary care side, right? Or your endocrinologist, right? You call them and tell them that you are interested in using one of these newer drugs to help you lose weight. Tell them all these things that I just mentioned. You've already checked with your plan, you've already confirmed what drugs, you've already documented, and you have all your paperwork in a row, right? You then give that to your doctor. They will discuss with you during that appointment whether the risk and the benefit for you makes sense, right? Because with every medication, there is a side effect, right? So as clinicians, one of the things that we think about first is do no harm, right? We don't want to hurt our patients. We don't want to take you from where you are to a worse state. So we always weigh the risk. If there is a risk, for example, thyroid cancer in your family, well, that is a risk that's too high that we would not take, right? So you would not be someone that would qualify, right? That is a contraindication to use this drug class. So we wouldn't use it in that case. But we weigh your risk, we weigh your benefit. If losing weight is gonna help you with your diabetes, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your fatty liver, well, that is a pretty good benefit, right? And I know it will prolong your life if you're carrying 40 pounds less. So that, for me, is a benefit. And the risk of nausea, maybe vomiting, maybe a little bit delayed gastric emptying, like feeling a little constipated, well, I feel like the benefits in that case is still better than the risk. So I'm willing to, say, yes, let's give this a try, right? In that case. But if someone came to me and already they have trouble with their gut, they don't move things through very well, they're usually very constipated, and they have some type of family history that makes me concerned, even though they could lose weight with this drug, I am not going to risk it because I don't want them to end up with side effects that could potentially be worse. And now we're going to need other medications to treat the side effect of this one medication. So I hope you understand why your clinician sometimes might say no, right? It's not because they don't want to help you. It's because one, you might not have all this documentation. Maybe you don't have the diabetes, you don't have the high blood pressure, you don't have any other comorbid condition that we can use to help you fight with your insurance plan to cover this for you. So let's say you have all those things in a row. You've got all of your documentation. Your insurance covers this, right? Then what do? As a clinician, I am going to submit that prescription over to your pharmacy. And at the same time, I am going to submit what we call a prior authorization to your insurance plan. What this means is that the insurance wants me to submit all that documentation that I just asked you to prepare to prove to them why they should shell out these thousands of dollars on you every month for the rest of your life. So once I submit that, they will have someone on their end review this information to make sure it's accurate, to make sure it meets their guidelines, and then they would submit back an approval or a denial. Once they submit that approval or denial, let's just go with an approval. At that point, you will get a message from our office saying you are good to go. You can go to the pharmacy to pick up your medication. If we get a denial, knowing that you've met the criteria, that is when we might say, let's appeal this. Maybe the person on the other side did not really understand your case. And that's when I will get on the phone as your clinician to talk to peer-to-peer to the other doctor or provider on the insurance side and explain why this is beneficial for you, my patient, that I know better than they do, okay? So we get on the phone and we talk peer-to-peer and explain to them, I need this cover for this patient. It is going to save their life. It is going to help them live a better life in all, and it's going to correct a lot of these metabolic problems we have been dealing with. Okay, so if I'm able to do that and they feel that the information I've submitted matches what I'm telling them, they might approve it. Okay, now you see why I want you to do all that work ahead. Call before you even call and pick up the phone. You need to do that part. Okay, so now for the patient that's immediately approved, congratulations. You might actually get a text message or email from your insurance plan letting you know that your prior authorization was approved. Then you proceed to the pharmacy. What happens then? Well, they're going to run your insurance. They will see that a prior authorization has been approved, and they will tell you what your copay is, okay? So this is where I sometimes get another phone call. Every patient's plan is different. Some patients have a $25 copay. Some patients have a high deductible plan, which means that even though the insurance company covers that medication, they haven't met their deductible for the year. All right, so if you have a high deductible health plan where your copay for the year is, say, $5,000, well, even though your insurance has approved this medication and the pharmacy was able to process it through, well, now you have to pay that $1,000 for that first month of that drug because you have not met your $5,000 deductible for that year. Okay, so a lot of you that are, this is January, a lot of health plans, their deductibles are just kicking in. You might have to pay for the first few months so you can meet your deductible, and then your insurance will stop paying it and you can just pay that smaller copay. The other things we're running into are health plans that have what we call a co-insurance. So even though your copay is small, but there is this other thing called a co-insurance, which means that besides making your copay, your insurance plan said, whatever the cost of the medical care that you receive, you and I are going to split it at a certain percentage. So if it's a $1,000 bill, we're going to do a 60-40, where the health plan covers 60% and you cover 40%. These are things that you need to understand about how your health plan works. And it is very important that you pay attention during open enrollment, right? When your employer gives you this list of plans to pick from, don't just go running and picking the cheapest one. because most of the time, those really cheap ones do not cover weight loss. They have co-insurance, they have high deductibles. Those are things that you want to look into this year. When that open enrollment starts, you want to pay attention. You want to ask your HR person, does this cover weight loss medications? Because I'm on this weight loss medication that I want to make sure it continues to get covered. You want to find out what is going to be your out-of-pocket expense for the year, right? And your deductible, your co-payment, your co-insurance, if any of that exists. So sometimes when we get denials from insurance, it's not because the insurance company wanted to deny you, it's because the plan that you picked did not include this type of lifestyle medications, okay? So I hope I'm clear. I hope this has been helpful for you guys. Run into any of these type of problems, I want you to make a comment in this comment section below. Tell me what problems you've run into so that maybe I can make another video to explain that if I've not already explained it in this video. I'll be happy to answer your questions and look forward to hearing from you guys.